Coming up on Network Africa. Ghana investigators find black boxes of helicopter that crashed on Wednesday as President John Mahama joins mourners in Accra to honor victims killed. 6 people were killed following deadly plane crash in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Plus, Sudan's Prime Minister Kamel Idris meets with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Cairo on his first foreign visit since assuming office. Hello and welcome to Network Africa. Today I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin in Ghana. More details are emerging from Wednesday's helicopter crash. Authorities have not confirmed the cause of the crash, but the flight data and cockpit voice recorders, often referred to as black box, has been retrieved. Ghana's armed forces have also initiated a full and transparent investigation, according to President John Mahama. Ghana's meteorological agency had forecast unusually cold weather for August, with recent rains and light showers causing foggy conditions in many forest areas. Local farmers near the crash site reported morning fog on Wednesday, even as the helicopter flew overhead. Now, this is the most deadly of 3 separate emergency incidents involving Ghana Air Force helicopters in recent years. Many Ghanaians are still shocked by the news and are still struggling to come to terms. President John Mahama has suspended all his scheduled activities for the rest of the week, declaring 3 days of mourning that started on Thursday, and the country's flags are all flying at half-mast. In the meantime, the remains of the 8 victims killed in Wednesday's military helicopter crash have been flown to South Africa for advanced forensic analysis, even as Ghana grapples with the loss of 2 government ministers and 6 others in the tragic accident. A private jet carrying the bodies departed Kotoka International Airport in Accra on Thursday evening, marking a somber step in the investigation into the crash that has plunged the nation into mourning. Earlier on Thursday, Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama delivered a heartfelt address to the nation, expressing profound grief over the deaths of what he called some of the nation's brightest minds. He said the tragedy represents a deep personal loss for him because he shared a close bond with many of those who died. Extending his condolences to the families of the victims, the president emphasized their dedication to public service. The president joined dignitaries, relatives and friends in Accra to honor the victims of the crash, while others at the solemn ceremony also shared their tributes.
I, for one, am still living in a state of denial. And this morning, I was just telling myself that until I see their mortal remains well dressed and placed in their caskets, to convince myself that they are no more, I'm still thinking that maybe they got lost in the forest and we should just go looking for them. Because I spoke to him 3 days today.
We pray that God will touch their families. We pray that God will touch their mothers, their fathers, their wives, their children. It's a sad day to Ghana. And I will say that Galamsey, this gentlemen passed away because they were going to perform national assignment, and this their untimely death caught up with them. I want the country to use this opportunity to totally eliminate Galamsey.
Dr. Omanibuama is like a father to me, a friend to me, a family member. I mean, I don't know what to say. He's everything to me. You know, I'm a gospel musician. And then when we are organizing programs like this, like National Believers Thanksgiving, National Believers All Night, we need a support. He always been there to me. And then I called him last 4 days, and he told me he's going to travel. But when he come back, he will call me to come and see him at his place. I said, okay, no problem. Yesterday, around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then I heard the news that this thing that happened. Very, very painful. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. I didn't think that something like this will happen to my brother.
Meanwhile, in Kenya, 6 people have been killed after a light aircraft belonging to a medical charity crashed in the capital city of Nairobi. According to charity group Amref Flying Doctors, the Cessna plane took off from Wilson Airport on Thursday afternoon and was en route to Hargeisa in Somalia when it crashed and burst into flames at a residential building in Nairobi's Githurai area. Kiambu County Commissioner Henry Wafula said 4 people on the plane were killed, including doctors, nurses, and the pilot, as well as another 2 people on the ground. 2 others are also seriously injured. Investigators have been dispatched to the scene of the crash to establish the cause of the accident. Kenyan Civil Aviation Authority says the plane lost both radio and radar contact with air traffic control just 3 minutes after takeoff. The Kenya Defense Forces and the National Police Service have been deployed to the scene to conduct search and recovery operations. In a separate incident still on Thursday, a train and a bus collided at a railway crossing near Naivasha town, central Kenya, killing at least 4 people. The Kenya Pipeline Company, whose bus was involved in the incident, said it was carrying staff finishing their morning shift at one of its training centers and that all injured persons had been taken to hospital for treatment. Sudan's Prime Minister Kamel Idris has met with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo, and this is his first foreign visit since his appointment as Prime Minister. Well, during the meeting between the 2 leaders, along with officials from both countries, they addressed developments in strategic relations between the 2 countries and also ways to support and develop them in various fields, contributing to restoring stability in Sudan that's currently under a civil war and also ending the humanitarian suffering. A joint statement was issued following the visit, affirming the 2 countries' commitment to enhancing bilateral cooperation, developing investment plans to rebuild Sudan, and coordinating efforts in the fields of health, transport, education, medicine, and human resource development. A South African court has ruled that Zambia's government can repatriate the body of former President Edgar Lungu and give him a state funeral despite his family's opposition. The Pretoria High Court ruled in favor of the Zambian state, which had previously applied to block the family's plans to bury him privately in South Africa, where he had died in June. At the time, Zambian state lawyers argued that personal wishes should not override the greater public interest. The dispute follows a long-standing feud between former President Edgar Lungu and his successor, President Hakainde Hichilema, with Lungu's family saying he had indicated that Hichilema should not attend his funeral. Handing down the ruling, Judge Aubrey Ledwaba said the Zambian government was entitled to repatriate the body of the late president, and ordered his family to immediately surrender the body to the authorities. Well, Nigeria is extending warm congratulations to the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire on the occasion of its independence anniversary. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Toga, sent his heartfelt congratulations to his Ivorian counterpart, Kaku Leon Adam. In a statement released, Nigeria joins the government and people of Cote d'Ivoire in celebrating the enduring spirit, unity and achievements of the Ivorian people, adding that the significant day serves as a reminder of the shared history, mutual respect and long-standing ties of brotherhood between the two nations. On Thursday, the country marked its 65th Independence Day with celebrations in Bouaké, and that's the former stronghold of the 2002 rebellion, ahead of October elections. At the ceremony, soldiers marched in tight formation, carrying the national flag, even as the military band played for the troops. President Alassane Ouattara was also in attendance, greeting spectators and dignitaries. Independence Day commemorates Côte d'Ivoire's liberation from French colonial rule on August 7, 1960, and is marked annually with military parades, cultural events, and national speeches. Or here in Nigeria, the Ebonyi state government is taking steps to reduce the impact of flooding this year. As part of its efforts, the government has paid its share of the counterpart funding for the second phase of the new MAP project, which aims to help control and reduce future flooding across the state. Commissioner for Environment is warning residents to stop farming in flood-prone areas and to avoid dumping refuse in waterways. He says these practices make flooding worse and threaten the safety of communities.
The Ebonyi state government is issuing a warning to residents as massive flooding continues to destroy farmlands across several local government areas. According to the 2025 seasonal climate prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, Ebonyi is listed as a high-risk flood zone. That forecast is now playing out as heavy rains are flooding communities and submerging farmlands, especially in Izi, Abakaliki, and Ikwo. Farmers are currently counting their losses. Large areas planted with rice, yam, and cassava are now underwater. Some residents are calling on the government to step in quickly for relief and support.
This place, flood, they disturb us if we crop. So flood will cover the crop. So we don't have anything to do about it. So we are begging state government to do something about it. If we plant rice, and the same thing, flood will cover it. If you plant cassava, and flood will cover it. We don't have anything to do about it.
Now water they disturb us for inside for here. If it's my house, the water they enter.
The Commissioner for Environment, Victor Chukwu, is blaming the current situation partly on an incomplete drainage project by the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NewMap. It says the halted project is worsening the impact of rainfall in the capital city.
The second phase of the NewMap, it is called EIB NewMap, European Investment Bank, for the same project NewMap. So the city has designed the sites where, because the issue is that the water that is supposed to discharge to the river flows back to the city because the river appears to be higher than the slope of the discharge of water from that is collected in the city. And so we have designed the site. The state has also paid counterpart fund under the leadership of our governor, Right Honorable Builder Francis Obonamwifru. He has paid a counterpart fund for the EIB NewMap.
The government is now conducting public awareness campaigns and holding town hall meetings to guide residents on flood prevention steps. People living in low-lying, flood-prone zones are being advised to relocate to safer locations as the rains continue.
Let's take a break now on the program. When we return, we meet the youngest chief in the history of Yoruba land here in Nigeria, 9-year-old Chief Olamilekan Israel Adebayo. Please join us again. Welcome back to the program. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Mr. Sylvester Nwauche, is strongly advocating the need for voting rights to be extended to inmates in correctional centers across the country. Minister Sylvester made his case at a meeting with the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja. According to him, there are over 81,000 inmates across the correctional centers, and about 66% of them are awaiting trial with rights like every other citizen until they are proven guilty.
The inmates of this great nation, I represent them as the Comptroller General of Corrections, over 81,000 of them, of which over 66% are awaiting trial persons who are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Even while as convicts or awaiting trial persons, they do have rights. And part of those rights are rights I'm here this morning to discuss with the INEC chairman to see how we can, if possible, extend some of these rights to these inmates. And this right is about voting rights, my prof. Sir.
Meanwhile, the INEC chairman is emphasizing the need to take advantage of the ongoing amendment to the Constitution so that inmates' voting rights is done in accordance with the law.
For our part, we raised the issue of access to the correctional facilities for voter registration, creation of polling units, and voter education. On behalf of stakeholders and for transparency, we also brought to your attention concerns about access to our facilities for observers and the media. Political parties also want to know if they will be allowed to campaign in the correctional facilities and appoint polling agents on election day. We believe that working together with you and the stakeholders, we can address these concerns. As we are aware, election is a process governed by law. Again, working together, we can seize the opportunity of the ongoing electoral reform for a clear legal provision that will specifically cover citizens serving time in our correctional facilities.
Well, our next story is worth looking for. This is a story of a 9-year-old chief, Olamilekan Israel Adebayo, who was crowned chief at just the age of 5, ruling the Alade Kingdom Ibeju Lekki, Lagos. Known as Chief Adidu Olowe Yoruba, which means an encyclopedia of Yoruba proverbs, the young title holder has developed a mastery of over 500 Yoruba proverbs with translation in English language. His remarkable story does not only defy traditional norms, but also serves as an inspiration to a new generation of young leaders. Our correspondent Kenny Akiumi caught up with him in Lagos.
In the ancient city of Soluwalade Kingdom, Igbeju Lekki, Lagos, exists a phenomenal individual. His name, Chief Olamilekan Israel Adebayo, popularly known as Chief Adigun Olowe Yoruba, which translates to an encyclopedia of Yoruba proverbs.
Ọjọ́ abákú, aṣọ ní ń bá ní lọ. Cotton is what one should plant, not brass.
Culturally, the Yoruba tradition is richly endowed with monarchs, chiefs, obas, and bales who play significant roles in leadership, governance, and cultural preservation. However, no one had ever witnessed a 9-year-old boy become the youngest chief in the history of Yoruba land until this day.
I am an highly respected chief in Yoruba land. So when you see me, you say Karoleo, meaning is strength be unto you.
At just the age of 5, he was conferred with the chieftaincy title, the Odo Agbe Ashaga of Soluwalade Kingdom, Igbejuleki, Lagos State, by Oba Muhyiddin Ishola Babatunde Balogun, the Onisolu of Soluwalade Kingdom.
Orí Olúkànbí kìí jẹṣin, ìpín àjàpá kìí ṣọ̀ṣọ́, àsùnlẹ̀kẹ̀ máwọn lọ́rùn, àwọn wọgbó. Olúkànbí's destiny does not include riding a horse. The tortoise fate is never to know splendor. People adorn the tortoise's neck with bead and its head for the bush.
Stepping into his world with pride, the young title holder offers a glimpse into his journey.
I developed my knowledge of reciting proverbs when I was 4 years old. Well, one day my dad and my mom was having a conversation. My dad recited a proverb. He said, Ayekoto onofeki, the world rejects the truth and the heaven is against deception. Few more minutes, I went to my dad and I told him that what you said before, I knew it. My daddy was surprised. So a few weeks later, he gave me some proverb to be reciting, and I started reciting. That is where I gained my knowledge of Yoruba proverb. And I can recite over 500 Yoruba proverbs. It makes me feel really good because they love me and they are also surprised that me at the tender age of 5 years old, how will I become a chief? So people love me that I used to inspire them with my proverb and I used to make impact with that.
Although he's a title holder, that does not hinder him from prioritizing his education and living normally like a child. His biggest cheerleader, his father, is most proud to call him son.
It's something that gives me a joy for being the father, the biological father to the youngest chief in Nigeria. I can understand that every kid in this world has a potential gift that God has given them. But the role of every parent is to try to understand, sit and be able to study so they will have full comprehension of the kind of gift that their kids have. Chief Adigolowe Yoruba is someone that is highly intelligent. He has the ability to remember anything you teach him, even after 2 days, 3 days, a month or a year.
Chief Adidu Olowe's ability to recite over 500 Yoruba proverbs alongside their English translations showcases his profound knowledge of the Yoruba language and heritage. These have since earned him various awards both locally and internationally.
The message I will have to give to my younger one, my fellow, is the first step, they should go and learn their culture and they should study very hard. Because I always study very hard and anywhere I go and I see myself as a leader. If they also want to be a leader, they should study and learn their culture.
Historians like Ibrahim and Noba are urging greater cultural preservations.
I think this case also should serve as a lesson to Yoruba parents of today. Even if you're a Christian or Muslim parent, you should find reasons to make your children be conversant with your people's culture.
With these record-breaking feats, Chief Olamilekan's story sets a new precedent for young leaders in Africa. His achievement challenges traditional age norms and demonstrates that young people can make meaningful impact regardless their age.
just before we end the program, here's our fun fact about the continent for today. Did you know that in 1957, Ghana attained independence, becoming the first African colony to achieve this feat? The country was named Gold Coast before it became the independent country of Ghana in 1957. Ghana's independence paved the way for other African countries to gain independence soon afterwards. Well, throughout the 1950s and 1960s, many African countries fought and gained their independence from Britain. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Thank you so much for watching the program today and this week. It's been a pleasure serving you. Have a lovely weekend. I'm Layo Olarinde.